I think Daughter from Hell is the album that finally starts to answer the question, who is Gracie Abrams as an artist? And while I don't think it's a perfect album, I do think it's her most interesting one yet. One of my biggest criticisms of her last body of work was that you could hear her influences a little too clearly on the record. The songwriting, the production sometimes felt like they were still searching for an identity. This album feels different. It feels like she's beginning to trust her own instincts. The influences are still there, but they're no longer driving the music. Instead, they complement it, and that makes Daughter from Hell feel like a genuine evolution rather than just another collection of songs. The melodies are ridiculous. Men Like You, let me tell you about Men Like You. Muse, and especially Minibar, are absolutely ear candy. I genuinely think the melody in Minibar is one of the best things she's ever written. It's one of those songs where the melody does so much of the heavy lifting that I almost don't care what she's saying. It's pure vibe. It reminds me a little of like Taylor Swift's Paris in the sense that you could sing almost anything over that melody and I'd still be completely hooked. And while we're talking highlights, I absolutely loved a lot of the writing from Look at My Life all the way to Imaginary Friend. Like those songs feel focused, emotionally honest and confident in a way that really stood out to me. But I do still have one issue with Gracie's writing. She exists somewhere between confessional songwriting and more abstract writing. And sometimes I don't think she fully commits to either. She hints at things, she alludes to emotions, she circles around the story, but she rarely tells you exactly what's happening. Now, for some people, that's part of the appeal. It allows listeners to project their own experiences onto the songs. For me though, it can become quite frustrating because it sometimes feels like the songs are meandering rather than building towards something climactic. Then there's the title track, Daughter from Hell, which actually is my least favorite song on this album. Some of the writing just does not work for me at all. Take these lyrics, right? I was a pill, you swallowed me down, daughter from hell, hungry and loud, you lent me your life somehow. I understand the emotion she's reaching for, but the lines don't flow naturally together. They feel more like a series of disconnected phrases rather than a cohesive thought. Instead of sounding poetic, they end up feeling awkward. So yeah, it didn't work for me. There's another moment on Muse where she sings, you said you'd go right, but you went left instead. The rest of the song is beautifully written, but then suddenly there's this awkward lyric that feels so familiar, overused, and it pulls me straight out of the moment. It's a bit cliche. That's probably my biggest takeaway from this album. The highs are genuinely quite high. The melodies are stronger than they've ever been. She's developing her own artistic identity, but the writing still isn't consistently there for me. And honestly, that's okay. I think sometimes we expect artists to arrive fully formed. We don't always give them the space or the grace to grow. This album shows real growth. It's more confident, it's more distinctive, and it makes me genuinely excited to hear what Gracie Abrams does next. For me, it's not a masterpiece, but it's absolutely a step in the right direction. So anyway, those are my thoughts. What do you think of Daughter from Hell? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to see what the fans in particular think of this album.